Watch how brave this busty girl is. She enters a ghostly theater that even ghosts would shake their heads at. And of course, once inside, it's completely empty. As she looks around, a mysterious force pushes her into a chair. The projector starts, and she surprisingly sees herself on the screen. The busty girl is dumbfounded as she hasn't made a movie. If it were an erotic film, fine, but it appears to be a horror movie instead. Suddenly, she trips over a stone and finds a dried corpse under her. Terrified, she looks back and sees a man with an axe chasing her. Luckily, she hides behind a tree and escapes, only for her boyfriend, Handsome, to appear. Seeing her boyfriend, Busty Girl feels much more at ease. They run from day to night and finally encounter a police car on the road. Thinking they are finally saved, the iron-headed man reappears. The cop points a gun at him and tells him to drop the weapon. The iron-headed man shows no fear, and the cop starts firing without further ado. But just as the iron-headed man's mask is removed, the cop seems to see something horrifying. In a panic, he trips over the masked man's foot, discharges his weapon, and kills himself. Seeing this, Handsome and Busty Girl take off running. Finding a nearby house, they tell the resident, Big Black, that a welder is chasing them. Just then, the welder reappears outside, throwing a hammer that knocks out Big Black. Handsome and Busty Girl rush to barricade the door. Handsome finds a shotgun, but Big Black, who has regained consciousness, grabs it, declaring he'll avenge the thrown hammer. Handsome turns green with anger. Before Big Black can even finish his rant, the welder bursts through the door, stabbing Big Black. Handsome wrestles with the welder, while Busty Girl discovers a hidden basement. Deciding to hide, she turns on the light and is terrified to see it filled with dried corpses. Meanwhile, Handsome takes a knife from the table during the struggle. Thinking he can turn the tables, Handsome tries to attack, but the welder is impervious to blades. The welder retaliates, stabbing Handsome in the gut. Then he pulls out a flamethrower, and Handsome's screams fill the house. Knowing her boyfriend is dead, Busty Girl wraps her arm in a chain, grabs an axe, and prepares to fight to the death. Her rage gives her immense strength, and she lashes the welder with the chain before picking up the axe and knocking off his helmet. To her horror, she recognizes the welder as her childhood friend, Yellowhair. To survive, Yellowhair reveals a shocking truth. A few days earlier, while they were exploring the wilderness, a meteorite crashed nearby. Curious, they approached it and discovered it was black and ominous. When Handsome tried to touch it, spiders emerged and burrowed into their bodies. Yellowhair hid in a cabin, but the spiders followed him inside. In a moment of desperation, Yellowhair put a mask over his head and managed to escape. Since then, he took on the mantle of saving the world, hunting those infected by the spiders. Suddenly, Busty Girl loses control of her body, her head splitting open to reveal a spider in her brain. With her last bit of sanity, she begs Yellowhair to kill her. Reluctantly, Yellowhair realizes he must for the greater good. Yellowhair decisively swings the axe. Afterward, he exits the room only to be swarmed by spiders again. Transforming back into the welder, he fights through the night, finally breaking free. As he drives towards the city center, he feels something moving under his forehead.